shed build video for you today, and this is the end video bit, but I'm going to put this at the start. So it's finally completed, and I can show you the process of the build. I haven't actually got any sort of action footage of construction because I didn't really want to film workers while they're busy, but I can show you the stages of the build, and so I'm going to use it for storage of my tractor implements and have a general sort of workshop area, which is long overdue really for me. Well, there's one other bit I've got to put on the shed before it's officially complete. I've got to put my mandatory bird or bat box on the building before it's in use. So that was a stipulation of the planning. Stick one on the side somewhere. Hope you enjoy the video. So this is the shed building plot. It's on a slight slope, so it's going to have to be excavated down probably about 4 foot deep where the front of the tractor is, maybe 4 or 5 feet for the change in height. Just trying to shift some of the manure before the digger arrives. I've been after a property with a shed, or to build a shed somewhere, for quite a few years now, so quite excited to get this done. I got the planning permission and everything months ago. I had it passed with the local planning authority about 3 months ago, so I'm itching to get my shed builder in now. That's stage 1 of the shed build done today then. A few tons of earth been excavated. Bit more progress on the shed today. The soil's been rolled and a few tons of stones been put on top, and that's been rolled as well. So that's been marked out for the shed, for the framework. Got a bit of a ramp on that side to drive up and down the other side of the shed. That's all the excavated soil in the next field. We've done a brilliant job of blending that into the original field shape. There was more of a dip down there, so it's a little bit flatter now down the bottom. A few hundred tons of soil being tipped in there and levelled out. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. The soil down the bottom was quite poor anyway. There's lots of dock leaves and things, so this all needs reseeding anyway, and then that'll be a nice little paddock. In a few months we won't even know that soil's been dumped there. The holes for the steel framework have been augured out today. So that's those, 8 of them. The concrete lorry's been today and filled the holes, ready for the steel framework to be bolted on top of. We've got some framework up today. 2/3 of this steel framework has just been lifted into position, and some of the purlings have been put on just to hold it in place. And then the last third of the framework will go on next, and then I suppose it'll be all bolted down and secured then. So that's looking good so far. Very nice. On a beast of a tractor. Just back from work. Looks like we got most of the steel framework up now, and the timber purlings for the roof. Mostly bolted down by the looks of it now. We got some steel braces on the side and the roof here. looks good. The shed's going to have precast concrete panel walls around the side of it. So they slot in between the girders. Not sure how wide they are. I'm guessing they've got the brace here. I'm guessing they must fit in between there. I'll ask the contractor how that works next time I see him anyway. So we've got these braces up on the roof as well. The shuttering's down, ready for mesh and concrete. And the roofing sheets have gone up, including some light sheets to let some sunlight in. There's a few options with roofing sheets. You can have round corrugated, box profile, single skin, insulated. What I've gone for here is a single skin which has got a sort of anti-condensation liner on the inside, like a felt lining. So I'm hoping that's going to help stop condensation dripping down all over whatever you're storing in the shed. Insulated sheets are quite a bit more expensive than just a single skin sheet, so I think that's could be a good compromise. It's a little bit more expensive, but not too much more expensive than just a single skin. We'll see how well that works anyway. The ridge piece has been put on top of the roof as well. I'm a bit closer here so you can probably see a bit better on the box profile sheets, the sort of felt lining that's on the inside. This timber frame stable's also got anti-con roofing sheets, and I haven't seen this dripping on condensation at all. And you get quite a bit of moisture in stables with the bedding and the animals in them, so that seems to work quite well. Although it's a little bit more open than my shed's going to be, because it's got only bottom stable doors, so it's got a bit of ventilation around the roof edges. Even though this new shed's going to have quite closed up sides, it's still got some places for the moisture to get out. It can get out through the ridge piece, because there's gaps in between the ridge piece and the roof sheets. It can escape out there, but it's got a bit of ventilation. And then on the ends of the roofing sheets, where the corrugation goes up and down, you've got a bit of a gap between the sheets for ventilation as well. The steel mesh has been delivered, ready for the concrete slab, so it'll be reinforced. And before the concrete's poured, then the mesh is going to be lifted up a bit, so it ends up sort of halfway in the depth of the concrete. It'll be 6 inches thick then. So looking forward to that. I love a bit of concrete. Nice to have a flat area that you can work on, that can be swept clean. The concrete slab's down. The shuttering boards are off the side of the concrete. And we've just got some new bits of shuttering up and some mesh ready for the slight ramp that's going to join the old yard to the concrete base in the shed then. Some more concrete in today to join up the shed to the old bit of yard. So he said, I think there's a 60mm drop, so there's a slight ramp, so that'll get rid of any rainwater that comes down in front of the shed. That's my 1.5 m concrete wall panels arrived then. 7 of those. Obviously they're stackable, so you can see the shape on the bottom there, and then it's a bit of a ridge on top. It's interesting, it seems to be just a polystyrene filled ridge, just to lock them in place I suppose. And there's a little metal eyelet in there. I suppose maybe you'd hook a chain or something in there to lift them up. There's 2 of those on each one. Well, you won't get a very big hook in there. I don't know how that works, but there you go. That's the dimensions of them there. Date of manufacture, looks like they're only made about a week ago. And they weigh nearly 1.5 tons each. You can see they're steel reinforced. You can see the ends of the steel rods. So that's those. Quite big progress on the shed today. We've got the concrete panels up on the sides, and most of the corrugated sheeting on the sides is up as well. You can see these 15-foot long panels, they just slot into the I-frames, and then they've got brackets bolted onto the side to hold them in place. I think the panels already came with like a pre-drilled hole on them, so they had like a plastic cap on them. So one panel on each bay and then one on the far end of the shed. Got sheeting yet to go up on this end. I was wondering how they're going to secure this end panel to the shed, because obviously they haven't got a recess on the framework, so they've bolted on an angled bracket to the frame and then bolted the panel to that then. They've started putting the planks up by the roof to attach the guttering to. Well, I've just got one piece up ready. So I'm not far off having a usable shed. I just need sheets on that end. I need some doors, and then the sheeting around the doors. The gutterings to go up, but nearly done. I think I'm going to seal the floor with something as well, just to keep the dust down. Obviously it'll need a good wash out as well. It's been quite wet today, so the machine's been in and out, bringing a bit of mud in, but I'll wash the floor out once it's finished and get some concrete garage sealant paint. Get in different colours. I'll probably just get like a grey concrete colour. The contractors washed most of the muck out after yesterday's lifting in the concrete panels with the telehandler, because they were in and out with the machine, so it got quite mucky in here. So it's never going to be kept spotless, because it's a farm style shed anyway, so just got to keep the worst of it out. It's looking good so far. I'm excited to see it finished now. So I've been working out of small sheds where I'm sort of tripping over stuff to get to tools and things. I'm even using an old car to keep some stuff in because I haven't got the space. So this is going to be ideal for me. That's the box profile sheeting done on the back of the shed. And the trim on the top. So this end's done. That's the guttering up. The downpipes are yet to go on. I could connect a water butt up to the downpipes at some point. Be able to collect quite a lot of rainwater off this roof. The doors have been fitted today. So I've got big double doors, over 2 meters high, so I can fit any size tractor through there really. Or any size tractor that I'd ever be using anyway. Big double doors, a pedestrian door, and then they've put up a bit of extra framework to support the doors. We've welded the framework to the main frame of the shed and bolted them to the ground. So they're made out of galvanized sheet steel and then box profile steel framework. So there's only a few bits left to do before it's a completed shed, like filling in all the gaps around the doors. The downpipes need to go on. And then I think I'll have a very nice storage shed. The downpipes are fitted on the guttering on both sides of the shed, so I won't have a waterfall when it rains anymore. I'll just go down into the ground and disappear nicely. And then most of the sheeting around the doors has been fitted on. The box profile sheeting. So that's nearly complete. They're going to come back and fit some flat steel plate just to fill in these gaps here, because there's 2 bits of framework here. You've got the framework in the corner, which is the main frame of the shed, and then there's a framework for the door. So rather than have box profile fitting over here, which would flap about a bit, it's going to be some flat steel plate just to fill in those gaps. There's only one gap there, and then on that side, a small gap there. And that's finished up the top there. So it's 99% done now, I think. I also need some bolt holes for the down bolts for the doors, because they need to be bolted down when they're open. Well, especially when it's windy. It doesn't take much of a breeze to close a door like that. And on a very windy day, you want to avoid opening those doors at all, because it's a big surface area to catch the wind. I've handled doors like that before on bands, and if a gust of wind catches it, you have a job stopping it. But anyway, I only use the double doors if I want to get the tractor in and out. Usually use the pedestrian door. But it's fairly sheltered here because I've got the stable building on the other side, so I've got a bit of shelter, so it should be good. Then the only other thing I've asked the shed builder to do, just to be a bit fussy, I've asked him if he can pin these corners of these sheets in a bit more. I've looked at other sheds in the area. It's pretty standard that they're just, that's how they finished, you know, they just screwed to the side and come down to this point. On buildings where you've got the concrete panels, but it's just sometimes when you've got kids, they just like to run their hands around things, and that edge will just slice your hand open, I think. So I'm just going to get him to put a couple of screws into the frame. Says he's got some special screws for that anyway. So just to tidy up the four corners of it. The front of the shed's now got the bits of steel trim around the doors, in between the doors and the box profile sheets, and cutouts for the hinges so the doors can swing open and they're clear. We've got the corners of the sheets pinned in tight, so there's no sharp edges showing. We've got the bolt holes for the doors, so they can be secured open, so the wind won't blow them shut. It's all finished.